We're already 5 minutes late, so
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing. Alrighty, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Smudcast number 626. Please don't buy Atomic Heart. If you guys don't recall, Atomic Heart was a game that was announced, I think, at least 5 or 6 years ago by some.
Quite a while ago.
Was it more than 5? I can't recall. And it looked amazing. It looked very dystopian, sci-fi future. Definitely European, and then we realized it was a Russian developer, and they had all kinds of problems with other developers on the team. And it was like, okay, this game's going to take a while to come out. Fair enough. And we had a bunch of horror stories of how it came about, similar to how the Anthem E3 reveal trailer was like all fabricated. The game wasn't that solid, the same way their trailer was all fabricated. So we were hearing horror stories about that. So we thought this game was just fake and not going to come out. And then we get a release date this year. Like, ooh, interesting. I'm curious because it is one of those cool looking, very polished looking, or according to the trailer, sci-fi, futuristic, horror, first person shooter. And I think most of us enjoy that sort of BioShock-ish world.
Yeah, this is more BioShock than like whatever Infinite was.
Right. It feels like there's an experiment gone wrong in some sort of lab in some part of Russia that has robots and organic techno things running around, which is kind of neat. And I like that premise, but I don't know much about it outside of that. So cool. Looks cool. Sounds cool. But this guy, the gentleman of the name is, let me just get his name, is Harenko, has 9,000 subs. And this came out, holy jeez, this came out 2 weeks ago almost. Has 1.75 million views. And the downvotes are, holy jeez, 50,000 upvotes, 158,000 downvotes. So a bit of a controversial video. It's 20 minutes long. I'm assuming he's going to talk about what's happening in Russia right now in the war. I don't know how that translates to video games, but I mean, there must be some connection or else he would make this video.
What I see is that like he's policing whatever comments he gets because he only has 116 comments, and then he has like a pinned comment that, hey, unfortunately I am forced to somewhat limit comments as they are currently being botted by more faceless newly made accounts than anyone could ever realistically keep up with. Like, what?
Why would you even bother responding?
He enabled held for review on comments.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That's why it's only 120, because he has to manually approve all of the comments.
Oh
my god, that is terrible.
I mean,
a way to make an echo chamber for yourself.
Yeah, that's not
also,
cool.
In terms of how bad this video is gonna get, it immediately starts off bad. Like the first 2 minutes are already bad faith. It's such a terrible video. All
right. Well, sadly, I mean, this game could be a total flop, but that doesn't mean that you have to bring in. This looks like I'm looking at the war scenes from Russia and Ukraine. Like, what's he going to be talking about? This is a strange topic to bring up, but I could be wrong.
I hope it's not going to be dominated by that.
Oh, he's got Ukrainian subtitles. Fascinating. Okay, let's turn that off.
Oh, well, you're part Ukrainian, so you will probably speak it, right?
Well, when I was a kid, I could read it, but that was a long while ago. Anyway.
Хорошо.
Yeah, kishka, borscht, a few other foods. Yeah. Anyway, let's get going. 20 minutes. Here we go.
Today is August 9th, 1945. The U.S. turning the cities to dust and ending the lives of more than 200,000 people, shortly after which Japan surrenders.
Okay, fine.
In celebration, the US government creates and publishes a tabletop board game called Nuclear Love, themed according to the operation performed. It was made for 2 players, where one would be playing on the side of the US and the other would be playing as Japan. The game features dice that look like miniature atomic bombs, and the person who manages to bomb the other's city capital first wins. By rules of the game, however, the US side would always have the first turn, which brought natural advantage, and the board game, despite the patriotism and popularity, failed on the market. Sounds like a rather unethical piece of military propaganda that nullifies the tragedies, right?
Okay, so this is nothing new. There's been board games based off world leaders. We've had that in Canada as well. We had this game called Trudeau Mania, which was Pierre Elliott Trudeau. He spent all this money saying that, oh, don't worry, our grandchildren will pay off our debts and all this other crap. So
It's the goal of the game that you need to successfully wear blackface.
Yes, that is one of the secret endings.
I don't recall the
secret ending.
I don't recall the goal of the game. It was kind of like Monopoly, but I remember him having those Caesar garlands of whatever pine. What is it? Ivy leaves around one's head. He was wearing that on the cover of the box, and obviously it was made to make fun of him. But board games, world events, world leaders, it's nothing new. I don't think making a game about bombing countries after World War II, like right after, is probably a good idea.
Oh, you're gonna hear it very soon. Very soon. Just a few seconds more.
Yeah, very soon.
Okay. All right.
That never existed, and I just made it up.
Oh, really? What?
Why would you waste an entire minute?
This is
something that.
No, but this is a real thing. This actually does happen. So why would he say that? That's stupid.
He just makes up a fake argument. He's sympathy baiting. He's like, don't you see how bad it is to make a game about the bad thing?
Yeah, guys, honestly, go do a Google search on Trudeau Mania, and you'll see it is a real, in fact, game. And it's one of those, like, it's made to make you laugh and poke fun at the government. So it's really old, though. So I remember playing it as a kid. That's how old I am, I guess. I don't know. But these things do exist. So ironically, I was like, okay, he's right. But then he just lied to us. So that's not cool. Anyway.
Yeah, it is real. I just thought like it would be named after your lovely leader, Justin.
Not Justin, no, his dad. His actual the actual brains of the family. If that could be considered a good or bad thing, I don't know. But anyway.
Oh, really? I too thought it would have been about Justin.
No. Justin was like 2 years old at the time, so he was not a threat to anyone. It was only his dad inflating the crap out of our dollar, but that's,
That's why the blackface ending is secret. It's a timeline change.
That's why we have colored money, guys.
Inflation is a family tradition.
Yes, he was very much left-leaning, our old prime minister. Anyway.
Similar situation that does exist that follows this formula, and it is about to be released, and its name is Atomic Heart. I want to preface the video by saying that if you're the type of person that is still going to buy and play something like Hogwarts Legacy, despite its infamy, you might as well click off. As
wait a second. Wait. Okay, wait a second. So first he was saying Atomic Heart is the Trudeau Mania of Russia. So I don't know what that means. And then he just sort of snuck in Hogwarts Legacy there, which has nothing to do with this conversation. It has nothing to do with this video. Because what is this guy? Is he one of those left-leaning ideologues?
No, he's Ukrainian.
Yeah, but he's very much
can be both.
He has to be.
Mark, did you see the full video?
He has to
I have seen
about something that he doesn't
much.
understand because the left says he has to.
But yeah, it's gonna get worse than this.
Okay, so like if you don't follow like an angry mob that tells you what to play and what you can't, then like go fuck yourself, click off this video and donate all your money to Ukraine. By the way, like none of it goes to the series, it all goes to the military industrial complex, but whatever. Thanks for the money, suckers!
Oh my god.
It's just, what is gonna be his argument?
The funniest part about this is, like, apparently this guy seems to be like a Destiny channel. And Tencent has a big stake in Destiny. So he's virtue signaling over Russia, but he plays a game that's mostly funded by China. which is just really funny to me.
Do they have like a balloon above Ukraine as well?
Spy balloon.
I can like derail a train so it can blow up and like destroy the balloon, you know?
Like in Ohio.
Ohio, East Palestine. I'm like so fucking like confused. Like, there's a place called East Palestine in Ohio. I was like thinking, like, okay, like Israel finally had enough. Like, oh, U.S. Okay, but no, really, that was awful. Like, oh god.
Okay, well, let's see what he has to say about Hogwarts Legacy.
Purchase and play Atomic Heart. Go on, you have a Joe Rogan podcast to catch up on, or play Call of Duty or something. I don't know. Being Ukrainian myself,
This is
I'm
great.
making this video to spread awareness. So even if 100...
What does that have to do with anything? Being Ukrainian, I spread awareness of a video game? Like what?
What did you
Okay,
say
like
about Joe
from now on,
Just
we can
labeling
listen to
people.
Smud because he's also Ukrainian, so he can tell us like, can we play Atomic Heart or not? Do we have the U card?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to use something very, very left-wing.
Communism.
No. Fuck your nationalism.
Based
no
response,
way.
actually.
I don't even know what he's talking. Like, what does being Ukrainian have anything to do with talking about a Russian video game or a video game made in Russia?
Hogwarts
you get
Legacy is
wasted
a
for
Russian
war.
propaganda.
Yeah,
Chick.
that's like anyone from America talking about Mass Effect because it's in Canada. And you're like, or made in Canada. You're like, what does that have to do with anything? I don't.
Yeah, they use Canadian English. Like, can you just hear?
I don't get it though. Like it's they border, each country borders each other. One of them makes a video game, therefore the guy from the other country can talk about it.
The funniest part
since
about, like,
it's because since
Go
World
ahead.
War One, we now have to hate each other's peoples entirely to total annihilation. That's what it's all about.
Oh God, are we bringing up the fact that because developers are Russian, therefore they're part of the problem?
Yes.
That's it. That's
exactly
all it
this
is.
video.
That's all it is.
Oh my God.
One government did some bullshit to another country. Therefore, all the people of that government need to suffer.
That's kind of like how like people treat like
it is
Germans.
actually dehumanizing.
Yeah, this is the same with the German military and the Nazis. The German military were not
Yes.
the Nazis, guys. This is so like, obvious and simple, and you have to point it out. It's like, no, they're just soldiers. They have nothing to do with the government.
One thing
Funniest
happened
part
in the
about like
past.
the timing of this video was that there's another streamer called Sepla, I think, which is also Ukrainian, and she actually like fled from Ukraine.
Yeah.
But her opinion is what everyone else thinks, is that you should just buy these games if you want to play them, and you're not a bad person for playing games.
Yeah.
She literally called out this video because it's dumb.
Okay. Well, let's keep going.
I'm satisfied. Even if one person this video, I'm satisfied. I will be turning monetization
You are a
on for this
hate-filled
video
monster.
if possible, and all revenue from this video will be going straight to local Ukrainian charities.
Good for you.
But let's start with the basics.
What
is
I want
Atomic
to
Heart?
see how that works.
Atomic Heart is a video game set to be released on February
That's awesome.
21st, 2023 that is positioned by the developers as BioShock in the USSR.
Yeah.
It describes the events of the alternative history of the 50s, where the Soviet Union emerged from the Second World War scientifically and technologically advanced, reaching the peak of development with cold nuclear fusion and intelligent robots. You play as Mayor Nechayev, who is a KGB major and an officer in special assignments. So far, the game has been universally appraised, earning top spots in oncoming games lists on sites like PC Gamer, IGN, and Gamescom. But let's see who is really behind it. The game
Before he goes more into this, I didn't actually know about this game before this video, and because of this video, I'm now interested in the game because it actually looks really awesome.
This is gotta be like another campaign that backfires, like with Hogwarts Legacy. Like, how many people are playing that fucking game now? It's just like
This is gonna backfire.
Like before the outrage, like I was like, "Ew, Harry Potter! Like, what the fuck is this? Like, no, I don't care about the universe." Now, it just creates this binary culture that, like, well, if they are gonna dislike this shit, then I'm just gonna like to stay on its side. And I'm like, I really still have no interest in that game, but I do find entertainment out of the salty tears that they are having.
Yeah, pretty
Or
much.
this.
But
It's
like
just
this game, I'm actually kind of interested in this.
Yeah.
I like my FPS games, and this seems to be more story based, which is also kind of cool.
Like,
And I find the
what are the
combat
games
later
like
on
that can fill
interesting.
up this hole? By the way, like,
Well-
are there like any other games like this right now?
I did.
Can
I
compete
don't
again?
think so.
I do know a
Yeah.
developer on Hogwarts Legacy. I think he's retired now. His name is Troy Levitt or Leavitt, and I think we interviewed him a few years back. And he didn't tell me he was working on the game because of NDA, but he also did a bunch of reviews on his channel about TLJ, and nothing came up about any controversy. Like, if I knew he was working on the game, I would have like championed it, but I'll eventually pick it up for a sale. It's not really my thing. It looks amazing. It looks like a beautiful game, but so does Atomic Heart when I saw it years and years ago, and it looks. I didn't even see the recent trailer. I know there's a bunch of trailers that came out last month. I just haven't had time to see them all. The same with all the advertisements on the Super Bowl. You saw all these amazing trailers for games and movies that I've never heard of. They're remaking the Three Musketeers into 2 parts this year. They're doing all kinds of great stuff. So lots of great stuff coming out, and I don't see anyone with a cogent argument saying that you shouldn't play Hogwarts Legacy outside of the hardware requirements being too high. So
Yeah. At least that is like something reasonable.
Yeah, I
The
don't.
only thing that I recently saw about Hogwarts was like that the mod on Nexus got banned, and the mod was about the trans bartender's voice being like adjusted to sound more female.
No,
And
actually,
they banned
that is a
the mod.
bug. Because like if you listen to like the fixed version,
Yeah, like
It is-
apparently
it
it's
is
not
actually a
trans
woman.
character. Yeah,
it is
but
a
they
woman.
banned the mod.
I do know there is a mod to turn the wand into a gun because Shiny was playing it.
That's like I think
Oh.
the second most popular mod right now, like the gun mod, which is funny.
Anytime you have a fantasy game like Demon Souls, or was it? I can't remember which game had a mod for. It was like a Soul style game where you replace one of the weapons with a gun. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. But
Persona 3?
Persona 3, everyone has guns
Wait.
with their melee weapons.
And regarding this game, I will phrase it like this. The left has for decades preached to us that they want the people of our species, humanity, to look beyond its differences, beyond its borders, and just be above such conflicts. And the truth of the matter is, while they now want the opposite of that we all go super nationalist and choose a side, preferably the one that they want us to choose, the people of this planet actually are above these petty bullshit conflicts that are just started by corrupt decisions of people we can't influence, and just buy the game when they like it.
I think it's simpler than
Because
that.
that is looking beyond this bullshit.
That's a very idealistic way of looking at it. I think it's simpler. I think it's just people just want a cool game that looks good.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because people just want a cool game, they don't care about this bullshit conflict.
It doesn't even
They
cross
just
their
think
mind.
this is a
yeah.
cool game, I'm
Probably
gonna
don't
buy
even
it.
know that it's a Russian game. They just think
Yeah.
it's like probably a Western developer or something.
Yeah. Do I have to stop playing all the... Where's Calypso Games from? Isn't that also a Russian company?
I don't know.
It's some Eastern European thing for sure. Do I have to boycott all of the Tropico games now as well? Because they have those under license?
Oh, right, yeah.
This is just silly. This is the bloody division stuff that the left was publicly condemned for decades, but they just show that was just a front to get the good people on their side. It's always a lie. And in the end, it's all about just hating the other. And these are the people who tell us that we need to overcome hate, and that love triumphs hate and all this shit, and they're just liars.
All right, here's Mike Hunt Hertz. Thanks, Mike. I never once gave 2/5 of a shit about Herald Twitter, but after the Alphabet Mafia threw a fit about it, I am now committing mass cadaverings that would put Columbine to shame. Fun fact.
He's making a Hogwarts joke.
Yeah, the trans bartender in the game files is named Mr. Girl.
What?
Very representative.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. It's good.
It's hilarious.
The mods will fix it.
The mod.
Well, no, they won't, because they get banned. They banned them
can
off.
be re-uploaded forever. Once on the internet, always on the internet.
And they get it, and then they hate it.
All right. Well, let's see what he has to say about the devs. This is going to be fun.
Is developed by a Russian studio called Montfish. On the website of the studio, there is currently no mention of the fact that this is a Russian game dev. The story of the company begins with its launch in 2017 by a team of 4 like-minded gaming enthusiasts in Cyprus. At the same time, the studio was mentioned as a Russian one with an office in Moscow in Russian gaming and IT media articles. In 2019, there was even a report from the Moscow office of the studio. And after the events of 2022, the company completely ostracized itself from being known as a strictly Russian company and is now presenting itself as international, which in terms of their history of office installments and offshores means half Cyprus, half Armenian, half Singapore, and whatever the hell else, just to avoid sanctions. And
no, dude, that's normal. That's what companies do when they have multiple offices. They call them international companies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Am I getting these countries together? That sounds like a feat.
You could even apply to certain tax revisions for corporate tax rates when you are international. You get to certain, because you not only what happens, you can't be taxed the same thing twice. So if you're taxed with one jurisdiction, you can't be taxed in another jurisdiction. So that's one of the reasons why lots of companies want certain
have their offices in Ireland
in various countries. Yeah. So anyway,
negative spotlight. So now that we've established that this is actually a Russian studio, what is their opinion on the war going on?
No, you haven't.
What would be their stance on this tragic matter?
Wait. Sorry, I had to find the button. This guy is of the political side that constantly accuses others of tinfoil hattery. Yes?
Well, what he just said.
He just sounded like the guy who's standing in front of the wall with all the pictures and all the red strings and frantically trying to tell you that it's the aliens.
Well, imagine, I don't know, Canada went to war with America for whatever dumb reason, and then I'm reviewing a BioWare game. What do the guys at the BioWare Montreal offices think of the war we're waging on America? It's like, who cares? What do you think? Casey Hudson's gonna fly his biplane and like kamikaze bomb it into the two towers or something crazy like that? Like, no.
At least, yes.
This is not gonna happen. This is a stupid line of questioning. Oh.
I rather think fondly of the Russian people that are suffering under a shitty, corrupt government than just hating them as well, all individually, and condemning them to eternal crap because my government tells me to.
Yeah.
It's like, why dehumanize every single Russian person and force them that like they have to have a political opinion on stance because there's this war in Ukraine. Like, cool. Do you know how big Russia is? Like, what are the people in Siberia gonna do about it? Like, they have like nothing to do. And it's like thousands upon thousands of miles away from the war zone itself.
Yeah.
You think that they're gonna be like, oh well, I'm really invested in this. Like, no, they have like lives to live. That's it.
And an insanely large part of rural Russia still has outhouses. A hole in the ground that you put a wooden box over to take a shit at minus 40 degrees. You don't have indoor plumbing. No.
Yeah, this is.
You need to take a shit. You go outside, and you hate those people. They don't know what the fuck their government's doing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're in the country or you're in another country. All the Russian folks I've ever met, well, not all of them, but I'd say a good 90% of all the Russians, all the Sri Lankans, I know exactly the kind of response I'm going to get from them. I don't know what it is about those people. They're just very, like, I wouldn't say they're a monolith or anything like that, but you get this straight answer with no bullshit, no hesitation. I guess the Sri Lankans might be a little more friendly about it, but the Russians are like, no, or yes, or yeah, don't do that, or that's a good idea. It's always straightforward with someone. So if I ask someone who's Eastern European or Russian or Slavic, I get a very clean-cut answer. And I'm gonna tell you, if you ask them about the war, they say that's a horrible idea. No one wants this.
Yeah, when you grow up in harsh environments like that, and not in funky ass California, where you take your latte for a walk every day, then you don't have time for this bullshit. What's the point? It's just a waste of energy. It's dancing around bullshit to do not hurt a narcissist's feelings. Like, no, in those places,
yeah, even
you're happy to on the table.
Even if
you're happy to get water from the water truck that comes by once a week, and that supplies you with water for the week. Like, you don't bother about shit like this.
Yeah, even if I was a Ukrainian, like fleeing from war or what have you, but I was a gamer, I could at least respect that a game is its own thing. It's independent of whatever's going on in world politics. And seeing a game like this, which is basically a BioShock spin, and giving a more European flavor, which I think is pretty cool and futuristic and has a certain flavor, that's a game I want to check out. I didn't know it was coming out this year, actually. I thought it was coming out next year. So
it's coming out in a week, I think.
I know. That's crazy.
Just as I despise this bullshit of excluding Russians from video game tournaments just because of this crap, because those are just people who live there and they're probably in some backwater ass place. Those are the people. We do all this sports stuff in part, or rather what it does is it brings us together on an international level, on a global level, and brings understanding towards each other. And that's how we can see, those are also people.
Yeah.
They're
right.
people.
Here is Mr. Adolf C.L. Hitler. Guys, what does the game studio think of the war between the invading quasi-communist dictatorship and the WEF-backed dictatorship, whose entire country is just a money laundering operation for the Biden family? Really, N-word, is that a real question? Yeah. Okay.
It's commies against commies, if you want to put it like that.
Yeah, two of the very most, what is it? I don't know what the index is called, but the most corrupt countries in the world. They're in the top 10, I think. They're way up there.
Mm.
So, we got a super chat. Yay! Thanks for the super chat. Rin Wesley. Cool. Missed a lot of Smudcast because I hadn't been getting notifications. Glad to see you're still around, and that is just YouTube up to its usual dysfunction. YouTube's been YouTube. I don't know if it's changed in the past week or two, but definitely changed in the past year. So, couldn't tell you what's happened recently.
Well, they had a new CEO, and that's it.
That was news today, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What that changed, but okay, cool.
So far, like, it broke the playlist button yesterday, but now it returned normal.
Oh, okay.
It'll bring NFTs to YouTube.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Anyway, let's keep going. We're 4 minutes in. Doing okay.
And keep their public image. Let's read out loud together. Guys, we have noted the questions surrounding. I want to assure you that Montfish is a developer and studio with a global team focused on an innovative game and is undeniably a pro-peace organization against violence against people.
Okay, that's halfway a non-answer and halfway a universally positive answer that you cannot complain about.
Yeah.
It's the perfect positive answer.
We like games.
Also, one should remember that if they are Russian, they literally can't say anything else besides this. Like,
Yes,
this is
that
as
comes on
far
top.
as they can go. If they go any further, they're fucked. Like,
Yeah, and regarding peace, there's been enough disclosed at this point. Of course, it doesn't run the big news, but it's disclosed enough that the negotiations in the beginning, where Ukraine would concede 20% of its territory and not join NATO, and Russia was happy with that, and no shot had been fired yet, and so but both parties were happy with that, happy in quotation marks, and then the Biden administration said no, and so we have war, and so friends of mine have had their lives in danger, and then someone whom we also know now, thanks to a very, very famous investigative journalist, has shut down our gas supply here in Germany. Thank you for that. So we get all this bullshit collateral all around just because of this crap, and you complain that the Russian people are not taking your side in it publicly under a as you know yourself, corrupt dictatorship. You want them to write tweets that get them shot or what?
apparently he does.
Fucking hell! Like this is the level of comprehension of the world that these leftists have.
All
Everybody has to join their side, no matter what, even if it kills them.
All right, here is God004. Thanks for the 5, sir. Hey guys, maybe my use of the term is wrong, but isn't that fake comparison he made at the beginning considered poisoning the well? Poisoning the well is referring to when you have information you present, and you present it in a wrong way, or it's the wrong information, so that the reference is wrong, and everyone thinks that's the primary source. So I don't know what he brought up at the start.
Well,
wasn't that more like a straw man?
Yeah, it's a straw man.
Okay.
But you can, if you, I think you can use the straw man in order to poison the well.
Oh, that would be kind of weird, but
Oh my god, that's a combination.
so
Yeah,
many,
it's a combo.
so many informal logical fallacies. Oh my god. Yeah.
Well, that's what the straw man's about in part. It's supposed to make you look bad, and if you believe it, if you don't spot it as a straw man, then it can poison the well.
Yeah, it's pretty much the go-to. Like even a Mote and Bailey fallacy is the same concept, where you have the actual problem, then you have this smaller one that you attack anyway, or use as a defense. So, yeah, it's hard to gauge poisoning the well, because that's very specific to a legal thing. But that's fine. I would have to rewatch it to see exactly. The Copperell, thank you, sir, for the 2. This game is fantasy because commies can't have food. I do like the idea. I do like revisionist history video game settings. I think they're pretty cool. And I do like the idea of like when the story with Superman, he fell in Russia at the time as opposed to Kansas.
Oh yeah, Red Sun.
Red Sun, fantastic story. So I like stories like that where it's like, what if you had a big superpower like Superman or whatever technology these guys got, like to do robotics in like the 40s? That'd be like so cool. So
you love the idea of commies having food?
I like the idea that we have a different setting to imagine what would have happened to history. Yeah, if that involves just giving them food, sure, I guess that could do it. I don't know. Russians, Germans, Japanese, you give them resources at like 100 years ago, what could they do with it? I don't know. So anyway, let's keep going.
Religion. Rest assured, we're a global. Stop playing a game that's sole idea is USSR renewal and communism. You classified your game as inspired by Bioshock and Prey, yet you go the no politics.
That is complete. This is the thing that commies don't understand. That portraying especially fictional world here, fictional story, engaging with philosophical concepts and putting a light on a detached from reality, political points of view, and letting them play out in your story is not the same thing as directly commenting and taking a position on real life events. Those are not the same thing.
Do we even know like how this game ends? Like what kind of like philosophy the hero is gonna take at the end? Like what kind of choice
We don't
he can
actually.
make? No, not at all. This
But the
this
thing is, like,
motherfucker
what
is
we
like,
do know,
Well,
what we
look
do
at-
know is that in this setting, the USSR still fails because the robots fuck up and destroy everything.
Well, look at actual Bioshock. It's a capitalist, libertarian, whatever you want to call, seasteading experiment, which I guess the left-leaning people might dislike, but they might also like because it's a giant catastrophe. So I don't see why they should be offended if they didn't play the game. Obviously, they think, oh, this is just a capitalist piece of crap. It's like, well, did you play the game? No. Then
like,
why
what
should they-
about
why-
Wolfenstein then? Like, oh, wait, you have to be in a Nazi prison. Like, oh god, like what kind of ideas you can see?
while you murder everyone you see what happens to be a Nazi.
I don't
Hitler in
understand
a
why-
mech suit? No way.
No way.
Why would commies like Bioshock? Because in
Because Kevin
Bioshock,
Echo told me that's why.
wait, but it's a
Kojima
communist
radicalized him to like
revolutionary. It's a communist revolutionary who drives the plot and uses you in order to become the ever ruling tyrant. That isn't that rather how communism actually plays out in reality? They always turning into an evil tyranny that somebody has to topple or that has to collapse in some way.
Well,
Why would I like that?
In the-
Why would
in
I
the-
like that depiction?
in the opposite, imagine if Andrew Ryan was a socialist and he built his underground city with with a bunch of people as opposed to a bunch of engineers he hired.
Rainbows and lollipops.
And it would break down that they'd be offended. Oh, this would never happen in a socialist utopia. It's like, it doesn't matter what the political surroundings that made the city. The fact is you're running around in an underwater city and trying to use all these augmented biological powers, which is pretty cool. And it's fun. And there's a creepy story and there's horror and there's body horror. And there's all this other adventure. That's just the setup. It's not like we're going to start debating political science while we're shooting people trying to survive in this weird factory research facility.
I want to see Andrew Ryan played by Sam Hyde. And then Atlas, or whoever the fuck the villain was, that would be Hassan Piker.
Oh.
I'm gonna kill ya!
Oh, dear. All right. Well, let's see what he has to say about why... I don't know what the hell he's talking. Let's rewind.
Bet you didn't expect this top of the hour ad break, Sam.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I can already see the propaganda. Look at that babushka. Like, that is very accurate.
A woman with a rag on her head. Oh, my God. How dare they?
Yes, full babushka energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably makes very good soup.
Communism. Find your game as inspired by Bioshock. Go the no politics in my video game route? This is one step away from the title.
That's not what they said.
That's not what they said
as
at
a
all.
company, as a company, they don't take any stances. Also, the game doesn't make any stance either. It's just a setting.
But why do they expect like every single media or like? Oh, but because like everything is political. That's why.
Everything's political. Oh.
I'm wondering,
Okay.
did these guys put the black JPEG for BLM in 2020 on their Twitter?
Probably not.
Probably not, because like barely anyone knew that like they are still making this game.
That's a good point.
Like,
Also, they are
I've been-
Russian, so I don't expect
I've
them to
been-
do any of that.
I have been following this game for like a year or two when I heard about it, because like the trailers were really promising. But at this time, I still had doubt in myself that like, well, is this ever gonna come out, or is this
Yeah.
like pre-rendered garbage, like what some other studios at the time were doing? But seemingly it is a real product and it works. So Well, I'm hoping that this is actually gonna be a success, but who knows?
I hope it's good. It looks good. The setting sounds cool.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's good.
The thing where he calls, for example, Bioshock political, it's not in the sense that he means or that he wants it to be, or that he understands in his limited way because the left has poisoned his understanding and definition of it. What Bioshock does is it takes a concept, an economic concept, or a philosophical concept, and builds a world around that where this thing is actually played to its conclusion with all of its good and all of its bad parts. That makes it more philosophical and less political. What he thinks is, there's something that happens in politics or has political terms, so it's political. No, that's not the case.
Also,
and
remember,
I assume this game will be the same. On the other side, when you have games that take an ideological stance and do not let any negatives about that side of politics, do not put any of that in the game, and only portray it in only a good way or only a bad way. This lack of nuance, that I would say, that you can probably consider to be political then, because it goes into the realm of propaganda rather.
I would hearken to Infinite more if you're going to talk about or deal with the issue of politics, but because Infinite was half-baked, a lot of the mechanics, a lot of the storylines weren't allowed to come out, so you have this semi-racist, semi-idealistic, jingoistic American exceptionalism city in the clouds, and then that connects with the future that Elizabeth brought about and how you stop that. So it's more tied into the character than it is a political ideal, as opposed to Comstock just wanting to control everything. So you can see it that way, but people who do that are like, I don't know what kinds of people those are. Are they just writing papers in university and need something to talk about because they played a video game on the weekend? And they're doing a political science major? I don't know. But I always thought that's a cool thing to talk about, but you can't write a 20, 30-page thesis on it without sounding like a moron who missed the point. So I like the themes. I like the ideas. I like the imagery. I thought the President George Washington robots were really cool.
Yeah.
But that's as far as I took it outside of that one theme of freedom. It was all an illusion whether you choose the pendant that's a bird or a cage. You could tell things weren't implemented. You could tell that some mechanics weren't there. And
the part that I think, sorry, I'm a bit tired. It's hard to get the right words right away. To this guy, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter would be a political movie because it contains a historical figure.
You got it. Yeah.
That's his fallacy.
As opposed to enjoying the ride that is that goofy movie.
Yeah, that is Abraham Lincoln slaying vampires.
All right, let's keep going.
Step away from of gamers who say, I don't immediately open up Fallout. What absolute nonsense. After that, their response to criticism regarding that tweet was simply to ban people, so it's a short end there. Now, let's look at the CE.
I just want to mention again that this person who says that they can't even answer to which people, they literally cannot answer to which people, because they'll get killed or worse. Like, this is the thing Whisp mentioned with the entitled leftists, where they think, why is the Russian not saying my thing? Because they can't. That's as simple as it gets.
Yeah,
they can't say the thing.
Yeah, you can make the same complaint about the Chinese not complaining online about what is happening to the Uyghurs.
Yeah, because then they die. So
yeah, because then they sit next to the Uyghurs.
Yeah, it's incredibly entitled to expect them to give like a proper answer that you want them to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
Oh, his name is Robert Pagratuni. Except that it isn't. His actual name is Maxim Zatsepin. Max previously had a position of a creative director / top manager in Mail.ru, which is now presented as VK, the biggest social media platform in Russia. It doesn't take much to figure out that a platform that is based in Russia, directed and controlled by Russia, and is used only by Russians will have a strict pro-Russian stance.
Wait a second. Directed and controlled? Do they actually control social media?
VK is pretty much their Facebook in Russia, and that's it. But that is true. But like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, at one time he used to work for VK, or like something that turned into VK, and now he's bound to Russian intelligence. What?
Yeah, he's doing like this weird like pseudo doxing thing where it's like, oh, his real name is actually this. And
that is so fucking disgustingly
like,
crazy.
It's so
like,
weird.
What
he's
why
doing
would you
is
do something like this?
What he's doing is what the left always does, and what is most known for, but most people don't have a name for it. What I started calling the Nazi cooties, the cooties game. Well, a Nazi touched a thing, so therefore it's bad and it's irredeemable, and that includes being German. So you're German, therefore you are irredeemable because there have been Nazis in Germany. And he's playing the same game now with he's Russian, therefore he's irredeemable. He has worked for a Russian company while being a Russian in Russia, so therefore he's irredeemable.
Yeah, he doesn't tout the party line, therefore he's not good to talk about. He's not a good person.
He should just be homeless and jobless because he's Russian, so he's not allowed to work for anything Russian.
He was just born wrong.
Yeah, he was born wrong.
All right. Here's the Giga Chat. Hey, sir, how you doing? Andrew Ryan did nothing wrong. Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, boy. Maybe he employed the wrong people. Let's go that far.
We love you, Giga Chat.
GAW4, thank you, sir. This guy is banning people in his comment section claiming Russian bots, by the way. Yeah, we read something about that. That was weird.
Yes, like anyone who goes against the narrative that he's saying is not allowed to comment on the video. That is insane.
The fact that there's 1.75 million views and only 120 comments does not make sense.
It's because all those Russian bots that don't agree with him probably pissed on prostitutes in hotel beds.
It's one thing if a lot of people are not aware of facts and get the facts wrong, and he's like trying to get the right facts and prevent those kind of comments from proliferating. It's another thing to just engage with any of that crap in the first place. So why would you even bother to try and clean that up or change it? Let people figure that out in the comment section.
He's a good example of how the left are the very fascists they portray their enemies as.
Yeah, like when I put that video about Mahler we clipped together, I didn't say anything. I didn't reply to anyone. And I still get people saying, you're wrong, Mahler's doing this, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, this guy's clearly wrong. I don't need, it's going to be another link chain of me saying, well, no, he didn't say that. No, he's got this wrong. No, this is what happened. There's no point in engaging because they've already made their mind up. They spent an hour with replying to every single part of that video, which is like 20 parts, just to say how wrong I am. It's like, that's not worth my time. He's already made his mind up. There's no use in talking about it. So anyway. Don't police your comment section, guys. That's a bad idea.
But it doesn't end there. Meet Yevgenia Sidova as the founder of Montfish. She's a former model and an owner of a modeling agency. She worked at New Media Stars, where she was in charge of the computer graphics department. That company is now in charge of various pro-Russian mass media, such as Vzglyad.ru and Dni.ru. According to the former employees of the company, all Montfish transactions and checks are on her behalf. Let's roll back the time.
So what does that even mean?
That means she's the CFO.
It's a Russian woman working for a Russian company.
Yeah.
It's like, the
modeling
Russian
agency.
Mm-hmm. So evil.
Also,
Man, it's almost Hugo Boss all over again.
before I forget, keep this in mind. Keep in mind that she was a former model. This is gonna be relevant for a
What?
point he makes later.
Former,
It's
yeah.
gonna be
all,
relevant.
all of these so far, like even like the CEO of the company is also like a former someone, former. It's like yeah, of course it's gonna
He
bounce
formerly worked to earn money. It's an
Russia,
evil
oh no.
capitalist.
Oh,
The Russian citizen works at a
So
company
should we
in
assume that
Russia.
like
Oh no.
should we assume that like this guy is just like a Biden agent in Ukraine? Like, come on, please. Like we're following the same logic here.
He's
aren't we?
friends with Hunter. He has to.
He was the one with the crack pipe. Okay.
Did I imagine this, or did he start adding ominous music to make everything look more evil?
I didn't
sound more
even
evil.
notice. Oh,
I
man.
It's
know.
just,
I
I
don't
just have
follow-
this meme in front of me in my head with the guy in front of the wall with, hey, look at all the things, they're all connected, like it's totally aliens.
It could be music from the game, but he could have edited it that way. That I don't know.
I'd have to pay attention, but I probably might recognize it. But if it's the game, I have no idea. Anyway, let's go.
A little bit. Been in development for quite a while, and by quite a while I mean at least 7 years, with its earliest trailers dating back to 2017, and the scene in 2017 and 2018
It's not
wasn't
7
as
years.
smooth for them. Many people got interested and excited, but a lot of people were skeptical, the reason being a shady system of pre-orders. Let me paint you a picture. An unknown company posts a small teaser trailer of some generic assets and a description to cause hype, with all of the effort to guide you to their pre-order page, where you would be met with a $60 base game, $90 pre-order for Gold Edition, and $100 for Premium Edition. Mind you, you see these price tags, and there is exactly 2 minutes of badly made teaser trailer footage with no gameplay to serve, as the video games represent.
This is such a non-argument because the game is coming out in a week. Like
Yes.
who cares what the early marketing was? The game is coming out. It's real. It's coming out in a week.
Like, don't we have like anyone independently like getting review copies of this game? Like that they are
Yeah,
not
I'm
like
pretty
part of
sure
Russia.
People are gonna post reviews soon, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's coming
Yeah.
out soon.
This
Because
is
like usually
So,
how it
like-
works is that IGN or like some other like company also gets like some review copies, and then they can like say that like, well, it's looking fine.
yeah. This
At
is
least like it is like a working product.
this is
Also, I don't appreciate the framing that he made with the unknown company. Like some skepticism is obviously appreciated,
Yeah,
but
sure. But
I feel
back in
like
like 2017,
especially-
yeah.
yeah, but like especially nowadays when like all of the well-known companies are so shit, I feel like we should pay more attention to like unknown companies like these. Because like if this game is actually gonna be good, I mean that's great. Then we can expect good things from them in the future.
yeah, and we've had really bad deals, and that from DLC, from people releasing DLC before even the game has come out. We saw that with Mass Effect, but then we also saw package like enhanced editions where they just package all the DLC together later on. So yes, 7 years is a long time. Yes, it was kind of weird. It popped up out of nowhere, and then we had nothing for years and years. And then they switched developers, and they made new studios, and they got more funding. Yeah,
I mean, didn't he say that the company was like 4 people in the beginning?
Yeah, exactly. So there's lots of growing pains, I would say, with certain companies that are independent and small. So I'm glad it got the hype it did. It was really impressive, and we got some horror stories the first year. I remember that, and then it went away, and then we got a new trailer, and then it's coming out. So great, it's coming out. All right, here's the Giga Chat. Thank you, sir, for the donation. This man was formerly a child. Anyway, this guy sounds like how Hollywood and academia falsely portray McCarthyism. Only difference is there was more meat to McCarthy accusations. By the way, the world had to throw literal magic at Ryan. The man did no wrong. Okay. I'm not going to get into that. It's a long topic.
So apparently people in the chat are saying the music is from Disco Elysium.
Really? Oh, it's hard
Well,
to
that's
recognize.
political.
even with the undertones of politics.
Because those devs are open Stalinists.
Yeah. Disco Elysium is not a political game. It does have political stories, but that doesn't make it political.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a detective murder mystery, or a blackout mystery, because you got blackout drunk, which was hilarious. But anyway, let's keep going.
Presentation marketing. What did not help was the fact that the game was being developed by a studio that no one has ever heard from before, being just born and publishing Atomic Heart as their first game, which means that they have no background and no past games that would justify the pre-order prices.
Why?
However, the breaking point for
That's
many
up to-
people
oh,
was
God.
that the game
Okay, this is again a socialist not understanding how markets work. If people are convinced by your opening title being good because you're actually that competent, okay. If it's a scam, it's a scam. Well, turns out it wasn't. What's the fucking problem?
Also, he's forgetting the fact that if nobody was buying the pre-orders, they would lower the prices, because
Well,
that's how the market works.
Even look at BioWare. They've been making Dragon Age 4 for what, 10 years now? 10 years?
At least
Also,
10
this
years.
isn't even like an exclusive thing to like this company. Like all of them have pre-orders as soon as they announce the game.
Yeah.
Like this is not a
Yeah.
new thing. Like,
But
why
what
is he
about,
blaming them specifically? Everyone
What-
does this.
What about Death Stranding as well? Like that was like a Kojima company as well.
Oh, boy.
We
But
didn't even
people
know what
knew
the game was
Kojima.
about.
So they,
Yeah,
so-
nobody
so
had
it was
any
okay.
idea, even after playing it, what it was about.
You need to watch Matthew
We need to ask
Matthew
Kaepernick.
Matos's review on Death Stranding, then you know what Death Stranding is about.
It's about killing the baby, like Amalphus.
No, it's about getting long.
The future of Amazon. Okay, anyway, let's go.
didn't even have a release date or even a release year at the time, which meant that you're investing
At the
up to
time.
$100 for something that might not come out ever.
Yes,
that's your
have you
free
ever
choice.
heard of
Losing your money.
crowdfunding?
You know
Have you
what
ever
else is
heard of
60
like Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaigns? It's all
It's coming out in a week.
It's coming out in a week. Of course, it's like
Citizen.
the risk is always there, of course. But like, you can see that like they have like some competent selling points in the promotional material.
Yeah.
That like, I'm gonna take the risk. Maybe it's gonna come out, and like I only had to pay like $30 instead of $60 on launch. It's like it's cool.
Same with
Star
Star Citizen.
Citizen yet?
Sorry?
Yeah, that will never come out.
I know people who've already funded that game with over $3,000. Or like at certain points, you get that they send you like a silver or gold achievement card of how much you spent on the game already.
Yeah, it doesn't-
And when he got that silver card, he thought, "Oh, I think I should stop."
I want to read out a funny comment in the chat that I just saw. The company has a low social credit score, so I can't trust it.
Yes, basically what he says. Dude, if it's up to the customer being idiots, that's part of the free world. If you want to be an idiot, spend tons of money on a product that's not yet made, but you want to support it because you believe it's gonna be a product. That's your free choice. If you want to burn your money, it's up to you.
Yes,
You're probably
it's-
just not allowed to physically burn it,
Yeah, it's no
but
different.
you're allowed to burn it in this way.
It's no different than venture capital or angel investing. So no product or service has been released, but you're investing in the company so that you can get a return later. So I think Fig was like that. You spend $1,000 in your crowdfunding and you get royalties, but unfortunately, usually the most of the money is made during the campaign as opposed to selling the product. So, but it's a good idea. It's just not going to translate directly to one game, one company, or one campaign, one game. So, we got a long way to go to get those independent games and get the technology right and get the speed of making media and the complexity of systems. But now we just have this ever decreasing. What's the formula? that every 2 years CPU power doubles.
I forgot.
There's a
It's
certain
law.
name for it, but yeah, that's changed because now we have GPUs and now we have RAM and SSDs and all kinds of other things are changing how we evaluate performance. But
yeah, we're reaching the peak of what is doable with just because of
hardware capabilities, yeah, it's unless you start spending thousands and thousands of dollars on new hardware, that is basically just the same thing times 2 or times 3.
What I meant is you can only make circuits so small and so crammed before they start before the electrons start jumping over to the other lane, and that you don't want that.
Yeah,
that doesn't work.
the computers from the 90s, the bulk, the size are exactly the same as the computers of today. They're just more powerful, but they have giant fans. They have liquid cooling now. We've got all kinds of different styles of keeping your box efficient. I don't have any boxes. I use laptops. But yeah, we're hitting that peak where it's like, oh, yeah, we can't go any further until we get into quantum computing, and who knows what that's going to do.
We can't make the processors faster, but we can add more processors.
Yeah, exactly. We just add more. So what ends up happening is a game from 2 years ago, which was 20 gigs, is now 60 gigs. And it's kind of ridiculous.
This is bad compression.
Exactly, because when you look at all of the game design skills that we've learned from 30 years ago, what is happening? Why are we getting rid of the Z buffer draw rate? Why are we getting rid of compression, of UVW unwrapping? Why are we using ray tracing so much, or if at all? Even though I've seen games that supposedly have it but don't use it. So there's all this extra crap in your game that you're not even looking at. And you don't even know that. And these things are like 50 gigs, 60 gigs downloads, and you're not even using 40% of that data. But, it happens. Anyway, we're at 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's go.
Losing your money. $60 for the same price as the base game? Elden Ring. Doubts started to rise as many people called this out to be a fake footage from a video game that doesn't exist, made by a shadow company with no...
Wait a minute, I just realized something. He named Elden Ring as an example of something that also cost $60. But like this argument he's making is like from the pre-orders. When this game was pre-order available in 2017, right?
Yes. At
Elden
least
Ring
like according
wasn't
to
out
him.
yet. Elden Ring wasn't out yet. You wouldn't have been able to make a different purchase.
Yeah, and Elden Ring.
Neither game was out.
Yeah.
Elden Ring had pre-orders, so all different packages.
Yeah, but not in 2017 though.
Yeah, but it's the same. Like every game's going to have a little bonus thing. They want to make an extra $10. It's nothing new.
And
I
trailer
mostly
footage is
meant because,
never.
like he said, instead of like pre-ordering this game, you could have bought Elden Ring, but like Elden Ring wasn't out yet.
Yeah, and
It's
trailer
out now,
footage is
but-
almost never accurate to the game that comes out later. That goes so far that games in the 90s even had render station screenshots in full 3D on the back side of the package of the box art, when the actual graphics engine in the game did not render 3D models, but only pixely sprites. So it was literal fake stuff on the boxes. But we still bought it because, well, we knew, hey, Lands of Lore 3, hey, let's try that out because Lands of Lore 2 was awesome, and then it's like, That's a proper AAA game.
Okay, let's keep going.
No records just to scam people out of their pre-order money. And it's been like that for a long time until they dropped more trailers and promo material and so on and so forth, but the initial impression fell flat. Now let's talk economics. If you were to buy one and spend $60, where would these $60 go?
To the game.
That is a really good question.
To the game.
To answer it, let's look at what kind of companies signed up to be the investors and publishers for Atomic Heart. Basically to be the ones who would be taking the large cut in Atomic Heart's revenue. The investors of the studio are Chinese Tencent and Russian GEM Capital and Gaijin Entertainment. Tencent needs no introduction, being infamous with its licensing technique and hunger over users' data. So let's start with Gaijin Entertainment, which moved from Russia to Hungary in 2022 in order to avoid conflict and continue its activities. The head of the PR
A pity Mark just had to leave for getting some sleep.
Mark had to tab out.
All right.
So these companies, as much as we despise Tencent, these companies invest in the game, so they already lost money.
Yeah, exactly.
Complaints that they're gonna make money. First off, they want the investment return. They want to break even. And as much as I hate Tencent, I can't fault them for wanting to do that.
Yeah, the distributor has already bought the game from the publisher, and now you're just paying the distributor whatever that cost is, the brick and mortar or the digital download rights, whatever it is. So if he wants to get into the royalty rate or who gets what because the publisher takes half and this and that, I mean, okay, we could talk about Valve, we could talk about the Epic Megastore, whatever it's called. Like, there's all different rates. You're right. People get different cuts of the pie. What is your point? Are you fueling Chinese communism? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are we talking about here?
Also, why is he acting surprised that a Russian company is going to get investment from other Russian companies? Like, obviously, that's going to happen.
Yeah, Tencent is like the third biggest, in the top three of public video game companies in the world. So
Tencent owns like everything. They just buy up everything. That's kind of what they do.
Yeah, it's like Chinese Disney.
Yeah, there's EA, there's the guys who do World of Warcraft, and there's Tencent. Those are the three big guys. So,
and why is he trying to sell me a ginger gnome as a Russian man?
I just want to know what's his point is. Like, who cares who these guys are? But okay, fine.
Illegally visited the Ukrainian occupied by Russia and repeatedly spoke in support of the policies and politics of the Russian Federation. But the most interesting sponsor is GEM Capital. GEM Capital is a Russian fund founded by Anatoly Pali, who previously worked at Gazprom's subsidiary Gazenergoset. The studio raised investments from them in 2021, where Anatoly met and became friends with oligarchs who got rich on oil and gas activities and now have the opportunity to invest large sums of money in various projects. Namely, the export of gas and oil is one of the main categories of income of the Russian.
You can complain all about the corruption in Russia and how that works and how you get money there. That's not going to change. That this is a video game company.
People with money make money from the energy sector. Wow, welcome to every economy ever. Like, the majority, if you guys ever look at the stock market as a whole, it's energy and financials. Okay, every marketplace in the world is like that.
Yeah, and look, if this guy was at Gazprom, and now it drops that in favor of making video games, I call that an improvement.
This is like, hey, I'm a billionaire, I'm a millionaire, whatever. I'm in this industry. I'm going to throw some money at a game dev. Wow, that's just standard angel investing. Unless there was an IPO that anyone could buy in. So who cares? And is he implying these guys are corrupt? He's not. He's just saying these guys make money from the energy industry. It's like, so do I. So do everyone with a retirement fund or a mutual fund or bonds or stocks maybe. What's your point?
It's the wrong politics.
I don't know.
If it's all pro-commie stuff, it would be fine, but it's not. It's not the right commie stuff, or it's not commie stuff at all.
I'm confused.
Therefore, it's wrong. Because when we expose the commies for similar things and worse, or rather substantial things, they just go, why, we are just the good people. How dare you criticize us and expose our corruption here in the West?
Well, this is like arguing Donald Trump is corrupt because he is a real estate developer. And I'm like, isn't that a good thing? Is it people like living in houses? And
I thought we have a housing crisis.
It's like people make money in many sectors and industries. I don't see, unless he's trying to connect like the energy sector to corrupt politicians, I don't know what he's trying to say here.
I saw Nick in chats. He said he wanted to come on.
Nick, are you my friend, sir? I don't remember if you're one of my friends. If not, befriend some of the other guys on here, and they will add you for me. You guys have him as a friend? Let me check.
I think I do. I can check if I can add him.
I got him.
Let's
All right.
see.
There you are, sir. We'll check your volume momentarily. Making sure you're okay. Oh, I got notifications. Okay, good. All right. We'll keep going. We'll check your volume later.
Budget, the money from which goes to the military industry. And if you know basic
It's called
economics and
taxes.
finances, you know that all investments must be returned, including interest. Moreover, a Twitter
What?
user found Pelly's connection to other Russian
Why would interest be returned in taxes? What is he talking about? Is he talking about a loan? A mortgage? Like, what is he?
It is just the military gets funded. Yeah, that's what countries do.
Yeah. What does that have to do with this game?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Can maybe we will play
such
back
as
in
the
2 seconds?
sanctioned many as 4 publishers and VK Play. Let's focus on VK Play. It is known to be a gaming division of the former Mail.ru, the same Mail.ru who had Maxim Zatsepin as their former top manager. And again, it is closely connected with the Russian government and participates in many initiatives of the Kremlin. If Atomic Heart is being developed with money that originated from sanctioned Russian businesses such as VK and Mail.ru, and banks which are systematically important
VK
to
or
Russian
VK
government
now?
such as VTB, profits from the game could be directed to help the Russian government in its invasion.
Wait a second. What nonsense is this? He's trying to say, you know, how that we found out that some FBI agents were influencing Facebook and Twitter and blah, blah, blah to block certain accounts or stories. That just came out last year, and now we're still talking about it. This guy's implying, oh, no, this is a wing of the Russian government. This social media platform they're using. This is owned by it's like, no, it's not. Where's your proof? And if it is, well, you're just funding Russian governments now that are waging war on Ukraine. You're like, wait, what? Where'd you get that from, sir? How are
He
you?
is essentially arguing this company pays taxes, therefore it's part of the Russian government and supports their military.
Well, that's the normal response. Like everyone pays taxes, right? But he's making the implication because Russian Facebook somehow is owned by the government. I don't even think that's true.
Does that imply that he doesn't pay taxes?
I don't know what's going on. This is so far-fetched. This is basically some sort of weird conspiracy theory that he went through in about 10 seconds. And we're like, wait, no,
I
stop.
told you.
This is so silly. It's a video game company, dude. They had some bad starts. They had to change their developer a few times. They got different studios. They got some venture capital. Now they're publishing in about another week or two. That's it. There's no grand how much money are they going to make that's going to be pumped into the war machine of Russia, really? This is so silly.
Thus, you would pay money to companies and military action, credible terms of service and privacy policies spotted over at Montfish. The website now leads to a 404, but someone managed to capture these screenshots. Basically, it says that your information can and will be transferred to the Russian government, in particularly the Federal Security Service, and not just your username, but your full name, physical address, email, phone number, IP address, and so on. Gotta say, their mobilization methods are getting kinda dire.
Okay, wait a second. What is this guy on about?
So this is
I'm
actually
hoping he was making a joke because this is obviously stupid. The Russian government cannot enlist people from other countries to fight for them. That's retarded.
Okay, I'm on their
this is the Russian terms of service for their website. This is not the terms of service for the website that exists outside of that.
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah, that's not global.
This only applies to Russian citizens accessing the website on Russia servers.
Yeah, I'm on their website right now, munfish.com. I'm looking for a terms of service. I see the word company.
This terms of service was also removed, I believe.
Okay, this guy is like, okay, so if it's removed, that means it's no longer legally viable. If it's not public information, then there is no issue. Meaning, a website has to advertise or show to whoever's coming, like if you have a cookie profile, that we store data that you give us, and you have to agree to that. No pop-up came. So I don't know if you guys gone to certain websites over the past year. Google changed it so that they have to tell the audience or the browser, hey, we use cookies, we store this data, can we do that? Every website has to do that. That did not happen for this website. I've never been here before. And I don't see any legal privacy policies. I see like multiple languages. I see it. Discord link, YouTube channel, Twitter, social media. There's nothing with legal on it. There's no legal issues whatsoever. I don't know what this guy's talking about. The fact that they deleted a web page that had legalese on it means nothing. Happens all the time.
And also, this was required by Russian law. This wasn't something they decided.
Yeah, any business online, you have to have certain, like if you just say you're doing e-com, you have to have certain guarantees to the user about what it is, how it works, what you're doing, who is the transactor, that sort of thing. It's about 2-3 pages, and it's all just standard stuff. This is in the States, this is in China, this is in Europe, but I didn't see that anywhere on the site, so who knows? Anyway.
Let's talk about the game itself for a USSR in 1955, Atomic Heart's story begins as the Soviet scientist Dmitry Sechenov creates an AI-assisted legion of robots that take control of all manual labor, leaving humans free to live a life of leisure and luxury. The main protagonist is a mentally unstable officer on special assignments, nicknamed P3, who is sent by this Professor Sechenov to keep the situation at Facility 3826 from deteriorating. The game is set in a utopian universe where the USSR had won and had a major boost in technical progress. The gameplay is centered around fighting through hordes of various types.
Okay, no, this isn't a utopian universe, unless BioShock is also a utopian universe.
Well, anytime you mention the word utopian in fiction, it automatically translates to dystopian, so I don't mind that description. But
you can, there's a joke here, because the communist is telling us that about utopia while showing us this destroyed world.
I'm not sure he's the communist. I think he's just lost. He's confused.
Maybe.
Through hordes of type obscurities. The game is filled to the brim with USSR-themed keepsakes and memorabilia, from drinking condensed milk straight out of the can to actual flags and symbols of the USSR, hammer and sickle. This kind of approach to the showcase of USSR and communism walks a thin line between using it for world building and praising it, and there are many solid reasons to believe that this line has been crossed.
No. Just because you make alternate history doesn't mean you praise the section that won. Look at Jinro, for example, anime movie in which Nazi Germany had won and Japan in with that, and that's just the world it plays in.
Yeah, the same with.
But it doesn't mean
And the new
that it's
stuff,
good
too.
that side won.
Yeah, same
It
with.
just shows the brutality of it.
Same with Bioshock Infinite. We have this crazy uber jingoistic American city in the sky with all these, praising as if they're gods, the presidents, except for a few of them. And no one's going, oh, wow, yeah, America's awesome. No, we're going, well, this is a really weird world we're in. We're flying around on not conveyor belts, little metal beams that we have to hang on with the hooks.
Yeah, if anything, it shows us that, oh, look, the communist utopia still goes to shit. And that's funny. And it seems that this whole stupid slogan of everything is political that the left runs on, which is a fallacy.
And from what I've seen, the game
people's
doesn't
minds
seem
that
very
they
fond of
cannot
the
assess
Soviet
world
regime.
anymore.
Well,
From what I've seen in the trailers, the game doesn't seem like it's going to be portraying the Soviet regime in a good light either.
yeah, it's like saying the original Wolfenstein game with all the Nazi paraphernalia is making the Nazis look good. You're like, what?
But Smart, that is why it was banned in Germany. I'm not kidding you. That was
I
the
know.
reasoning. It's glorifying Nazis.
You're slaughtering.
Did you guys already get to the party part?
I don't think so.
That's coming up, I think.
All right.
German censorship
Okay.
is retarded.
What a weird comment. It's bordering on praising. I was like, no, dude. Anytime.
and using it as a tool
Uh-oh.
to prove this. Take a look at this event that people behind VK organized. It was a special showcase of Atomic Heart for the Russian press, which was stylized in the game's
Wow.
Soviet aesthetics, and they did not go stingy on the decorations, huh? The event included a dinner in a large banquet hall where you could see Soviet-style slogans like "Glory to the Soviet engineers" or "Comrade, join the Society of the Future." One of the users in Twitter replies said, "Imagine if developers of Wolfenstein had a Nazi."
No,
Yeah,
that's
That would
only
be fucking
thing- the
cool.
only
Shut
thing-
up.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can point out here is the hypocrisy of how we treat Nazis versus communists. We should treat communists the same horrible way we treat the Nazis.
Here's
I do
what
agree.
I understand that people would be upset and would think it's in poor taste, but I'd also think it's actually really cool to get into the into the setting for a party.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have there's a bar downtown Toronto called Pravda, and if you guys know what Pravda was, it was a information propaganda newscasting agency of the Soviet Union. And when you go inside Pravda, it's all red. There's all these big posters from the 40s. And it's all in good fun. And the owner changed it, I think in 2020, to whatever, some other theme. And then she realized, oh shit, I spent 10, 20 grand renovating the place. It's no longer, it doesn't have that appeal anymore. It's something else. And she changed it back. She put it back the way it was. That's why people liked it. There are loads of people. I went there a few times over the years. They've renovated it since, but it's still Pravda now. And that's the theme. It's this kind of this sad communal joke of what happened 100 years ago or so. But there's still people who think back. There were some memories of glory and whatever you want to call the love of the leader that they still had or people have had. But that was like 100 years ago. Where no people are alive today to reminisce and talk about it. It's still part of history. So there's nothing wrong with a Roman themed bar or an Egyptian themed bar. It's the same concept. No one's going, oh, that's offensive. It's like, well, not really. And Russians are going.
I do think the Nazi themed bar would raise a few eyebrows.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely would.
Yeah, I think there's a different argument that could be made here. With Atomic Heart, you play as the USSR, which is what the party was themed after. But in Wolfenstein, you don't play as the Nazis. The
You play
Nazis
as
are the
the,
enemy in the game.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't make sense for there to be a Nazi party because you're not playing as them.
Yeah, but that's what the
I mean,
Nazi
potentially you could set it up like infiltrating a Nazi party.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, work.
Yeah, it's very difficult to talk about the Nazis for sure, compared to the Soviets, because we've had the Soviets since the 90s. So,
what?
I mean, look at how many games are taking out the swastika and just replacing it with the Iron Cross now.
Right. Yeah.
Which is an insult to the Iron Cross.
Yeah. Well,
Stupid.
It would be like taking the Medal of Honor and using that to represent the Confederacy.
oh yeah, jeez, not the greatest idea.
Worse than that.
Yeah.
Way worse than that.
All right. Well, this guy is stretching it, but okay.
Said Sergei Moho rightfully accused Monfish of being nostalgic about the Soviet regime or even glorifying it. Ironically, the party's date coincided with the adoption of the new anti-LGBT law in Russia, which
The game company does not control the laws being passed by the government.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like what he's doing here. He's like, oh, it's just a coincidence that they're doing the party at the same day where their law is like, dude, come on, they're reaching.
What was the day again?
Last year.
I don't know.
Did
He
you
just
mention
said,
the day? Was it something like the first of the month or something?
I don't know. He just said it was the same day as world anti-LGBT law was passed.
See, there are no coincidences. Everything is connected, man. Don't you see it? Don't you see the connections? It's aliens,
Yeah,
man.
Putin called up Monfish and was like, you need to make the party at the same day.
Oh boy.
Putin himself called, that's right.
Yeah, Putin himself called them. He wanted to pre-order the game. And Hogwarts Legacy.
Of course.
Spasiba, tovarish.
All right.
Which brings us to Sara, I guess. A major point that there have been numerous well-made games with a Soviet or USSR or low-lie Eastern Europe theme or setting. Let's bring some examples. In Singularity, the Soviet Union discovered a source of element 99 and has special powers that could warp time itself, trying to bring it to the glory days through time travel. If you're in the mood for video games that came out 15 years ago but already played through all the world-famous ones, you should give it a try. In Half-Life 2, the setting of City 17 has not been directly said to be in a specific part of the world, but it's clear that it's been influenced by Eastern Europe's architecture and style. Bulgarian art director Viktor Antonov, the person behind City 17 and Dunwall of Dishonored, mentions his childhood hometown of Sofia as main inspiration for City 17. Other places like Belgrade were also used as reference. In Disco Elysium, the streets of Martinez show what it would be like to live through the failure of an attempted communist revolution. You can still see artillery damage.
The irony is that Disco Elysium is extremely pro-communist.
Because it's made by Stalinists.
It's very tongue-in-cheek, though.
You could call that a political game.
I guess, but it's
Also, I'm also going to point out he is not going to explain what makes these games okay and what make Atomic Heart not okay.
Well, he's just listing games at this point. We're like, what is
Because it's not funded by
Isn't
Russia.
his reasoning? Yeah, isn't his reasoning just that Atomic Heart is made by Russians and the other games aren't?
He's funded by Mother Russia. Therefore
Oh.
bad. He's bad game.
But Half-Life 2, one of those genre-defining games, was made. Then this game was made. Then this game. It's like, yeah, and
Are damage and bullet holes in the walls, notes the lead writer Helen Hinpere. There's this feeling of being stuck in the past. People of Soviet and post-Soviet era are very familiar with this feeling, especially those who live in countries like Moldova or Estonia, which is the homeland of the game's lead designer, Robert Kurvitz. The game takes its own spin of what being a communist entails through its own political vision quest and partially the
Vision
main
Quest?
I won't spoil it, and I do suggest you try it out yourself.
It's not a political vision quest. The guy had a blackout drunk escapade, and he's trying to figure out a murder.
Also, element 99 is Einsteinium.
Yeah. I don't care how he characterizes the game. I just want to know why he's talking about it.
Coming back to Atomic Heart.
He did. What's
another
this?
point that rubs me.
Wait, he just brought up a bunch of games and said nothing about them. This game has this. This game does that. It's like, and?
Exactly. He's going to say these games, but he's not going to explain what makes these games okay and what makes Atomic Heart not okay.
The designer of Half-Life 2 based his design off this city he lived in. It's like, great. So?
Glory to our Stotska.
But Half-Life 2 didn't fund the Russian government.
My Ukrainian grandmother made babka back in the day where she learned back in the motherland. Yeah, and she baked bread. Wow, thanks. It's great.
In the wrong way strategy. It seems like their marketing strategy has failed to bring in pre-orders, so they went with another plan to make typical capital G gamers buy their game, which is of course none other than through sexualization and objectification of women. So far I have avoided showing these characters on screen, but I am talking about the couple of
the robots.
They are literally not even humans.
They are robots.
They are literal objects. So yes, he's right. They are objectifying objects by being objects.
And also, they're not just purely there for sexualization. Like, they're very clearly meant to be for Russian ballet.
Uh-huh.
They also seem to have like an important part in the story because they keep appearing in the trailer.
Yeah, but this is like having katanas in Japanese Edo period. It's like, wow.
It's also, I'm pretty sure they're going to be bosses.
It seems like that, yeah. Also, so what? The fact that they made the robots hot just gives me more reason to buy the game because they're base theft.
Oh, when the cool guy who founded the local cinema and the big cinema chain in Germany still owned the cinema here and ran it. Aside from weekly sneak peeks and showing old episodes of German crime, favorite German crime series that has like it's a cultural thing, and even showing sports games in the cinema. He also screened the Bolshoi ballet, like every few months. It was interesting. It was a real cultural event every time.
Yeah. So if this game was made in Germany, they'd have like, I don't know, pretzels and beer, I guess.
That's Bavaria.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
The only Russian
I urge you. You like beer. Do vacation, make vacation in Bavaria, and then ask the Bavarians, "Are you Germans?"
Fair enough.
Or tell them, or try to berate them that they are Germans. You will not stay in Bavaria long. They will punch you out so that you do go high into the sky and then land in another country.
Hopefully with cake on their fists, just like pow in my mouth. All right.
If you're lucky, you land in Austria, and if you call them Germans, oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah. That's even worse.
Here we go.
Robots that they suddenly added in recent trailers and thumbnails to get the attention of the lusty neckbeards. Just by searching Atomic Heart on YouTube and
the lusty neckbeards love robotic ballerinas. What are you talking about, sir?
We already have 2B that is peak robot girl.
Also, yet again, this guy is insulting the people he wants to make this argument toward.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of lusty neckbeards who saw a trailer for, 10 seconds, have clips of robotic feminine look figures. And then
oh no, female body sexy. How did that happen? It's called evolution, you eat.
And then I want to pre-order because they have ballerinas. Like, who goes, wow, ballerinas?
Yeah. You can't trust You can't tell me when we get the technology to make robots, we won't make them sexy.
We already do that. But the point here also, here you see very natural looking female bodies. None of these more extreme or rare body types, but super natural, like not supernatural, but completely average, natural, beautiful female bodies.
It's not
And
an
it's
anime
still
body.
wrong. It's still a problem.
Also, another
remember
thing,
how I said that you should remember that he pointed out that the CEO was a model?
Mm-hmm.
This is the point. Because
Oh.
he's now trying to argue that they made the objectification of the robots, but the CEO was a model. She's fine with this. This is literally how she...
Most sane people are fine with this.
Yeah.
another thing is these videos that he's showing. These aren't videos being put out by the company. These are videos being made by people who are excited for the game and are seeing this and posting it.
This guy would call
it's obviously a meme.
Yeah, this guy would call Michelangelo's work sexualization.
And
Seriously, the communists they're more sex-denying Puritans than the Christians ever were. It's unbelievable.
All right, this is getting silly, but okay.
Scrolling far down, able to miss the countless trailers, thumbnails about these characters, with some videos claiming that they'll buy the game just for these two, which also brings in the ongoing issue of sexualizing lesbians in media. Not only is marketing
lesbians? How does he know that the robots are lesbians? How does he know that?
They've done nothing to indicate that they're lesbians other than dancing with another woman.
He just assumes the robots are lesbians.
Because it's a pair of them, that's why I think.
And even if they are, what is he trying to get at?
On the issue of the sexualized lesbian marketing. It's like, what?
There's a bunch of Eastern European women who like other women, and they're gamers, and they're waiting for this game to come out.
It's bad to sexualize lesbians because what's justification for this one?
He has none. He just assumes it.
The only women depicted in games that are allowed to be depicted in games are unsexy, flat, non-curved, half-head shaven, atrocious things that don't
like
resemble
the new
women
design
at all.
by James Gunn for Nebula.
And if you guys,
He just looks like
oh
a man.
god, yeah, that was sad.
Oh, that's real?
Yeah, that's real.
Well,
What?
Because
He looks like Abby now.
if you guys have ever watched a ballet, ballerinas are very, very toned, and they have very little fat on their bodies. So there's not too many.
Yeah, because it's the training for ballet is insane.
That tends to happen when you move a lot.
Yeah, so there's not
And
much to
break your
look at
toes.
on a ballerina, but it's not about the curves. It's about the flexibility and the power. So I don't know what this guy... Does he want, like, small, flat-chested aerobic robots?
Yes.
I don't...
The robots could wear a
But
parka.
I'm telling you, this is the body that's attractive to a pedophile is the only thing that's left for communists after they've demonized everything.
He just wants all the robots to look like Robot Jones.
Okay, anyway, let's keep going. Here's God004. Thanks for another super chat. Man, attractive robots to help sell the game. Clearly an evil Russian-only marketing tactic. Those nefarious Russians making attractive robots. What will they think?
Don't worry,
next?
this point gets significantly worse in a few seconds.
We're not done with this stupid. Oh my god, he keeps going with this.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah, he's gonna bring up some.
Okay, we got 4 minutes
Oh,
left.
no.
I'm gonna lean back and relax.
Oh,
This is
boy.
getting too silly.
moral, as we've been fighting with women, especially in media and advertisements, especially lesbians, but it's also actually illegal. For example, in
Especially-
Everybody
Ukraine,
loves
parliament
watching
adopted a
lesbians.
law banning sexism in advertising, which became active in January 2020.
Is he serious?
Yes.
Ukrainian law.
I'd
I'd also like to point out this law doesn't actually support his point.
yeah, but
It doesn't even say what he says. I saw like the small print.
so there's certain laws that prevent sexist advertising, which means you can't show ballerinas. What is he talking about?
So read this, because he's going to twist the wording later after he pulls this off the screen.
All right, let me sit back up. Ugh. Okay, on advertising, blah, blah, blah. After third paragraph shall be supplemented with 2 new paragraphs. Discriminatory advertising containing or using statements or images that are discriminatory on the basis of race, skin color, political, religious, and other beliefs, gender, age, disability, ethnic and social origin, citizenship, family and property status, place of residence, by language or other characteristics regarding a person and a group of persons. Okay. That's discriminatory. What is discriminatory about a bunch of dancing ballerinas?
The one of the more important and positive formulations here is advertising containing statements and or images regarding the intellectual, physical, social, or other superiority of one gender over the other.
Here's an important part.
Yeah, and that means all the feminist garbage is outlawed.
And yeah.
Degrades human dignity based on gender. Demonstrates gender-based violence. Uses an image of a human body or part of the body exclusively as a sexual object. That's the part he's going to twist later.
Dildos not allowed.
He's going to leave out the exclusively part.
Okay. Anyway, this is getting really silly. Like I thought it was already. So he's using the law of Ukraine.
We're 1 minute away from the crazy 2 minutes.
Yes,
No,
the law of Ukraine that doesn't apply to a Russian company.
Yeah, this is already crazy. We've
Were
already.
they in Russia? They're now
All
in
right.
Cyprus. Anyway.
Yeah, I think-
You're right. We were talking about Russia, and now he's bringing up Ukraine law. What?
Why not other Eastern European
I'm
countries?
tired.
Why Ukraine? I don't get it.
What?
It's even weirder. He brings up his own country's law in order to moralize how bad the robots are.
So stupid.
Because Ukraine good guys, Russia bad guys.
Yeah, Ukraine good.
That's all That's all he understands about this conflict. That's all anybody who talks about this conflict understands.
So if Bioware makes
I can agree that Russia being the aggressors, they are bad in this conflict, but that doesn't mean Ukraine's innocent.
So if Bioware makes a game, which is a Canadian company, and they have a depiction of sexualized female robots, which they do, Ukraine would be like, no, this is bad. You can't do that. It's sexualizing a robot.
No, so stop saying sexualize. It's just sexy.
Oh God.
It's just passive. It's just what they are. Look,
It's
women
like I said,
women
the
are
fact that these
naturally
characters-
women
Go
are
ahead.
naturally sexy. If you depict a natural, average, completely average looking woman, female body, it's sexy automatically. Everything about it.
You know,
That's a product of evolution, and it's beautiful.
I should make a rule on these videos. You know how the optimist will say, "Well, just keep watching the movie; it gets better." I'm going to say.
I'd also like to point out these robots aren't really portrayed that much differently from the male versions of these robots we see as the fodder enemies. But they're a big deal as females, but the ones that are just basically naked dudes are perfectly fine.
I mean, like I said, the fact that these robots exist actually makes me want to support the game more, because it means the devs aren't woke.
Yeah, this is my question. Why are the Western wokeists, the Western communists, all so intimidated by good-looking women?
The funniest part is this isn't even humans, it's a robot.
Yeah. But okay, why are they intimidated by good-looking female bodies?
Well, I'm going to make a rule saying that any ideologically driven YouTuber will degrade in mentality or rationalization the longer the video goes on. I don't know what to call that.
It's probably accurate.
A law of diminishing intelligence? I don't know. It's something like that. Smud's law. I don't know what to call it. Anyway. 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Just the soft version of the 2 minutes of insanity I have.
Yeah, that's just where it gets the worst, but it's slowly getting there. Like this is just nuts.
It's build up. It's like foreshadowing. He's writing the story.
It's like a pimple that's slowly growing, and then it just goes.
Okay, here we go.
2020. Or another in physical, intellectual, or stereotypical roles of men and women, gender-based violence, as well as the human body as a sexual object. In simpler terms, it's just gross and cheap. And what pains me to say...
Why is it gross?
Because the law tells you that it's bad, that therefore it's gross.
Ballerinas
Man, you don't
gross.
have a brain. You are a government drone. You are an actual fascist.
Ballerinas are beautiful.
Horrible human being.
They're elegant.
He just self-reported. He likes Last of Us episode 3.
People are trying to tell you ballerinas are ugly. Come on.
We just heard him leave out the exclusively that's in the law because it doesn't support his argument. Because he knows they aren't being exclusively shown as a sexual object.
Yeah, they're literally characters in the story. They're not there just to be sexy.
I mean, they're very clearly meant to be a little creepy too, with the fact that they're faceless and everything.
And they pull like something out of their stomach or something. In that
Yeah,
one
no,
scene.
this
It's
is
like really weird.
This is
like it's like some body horror thing.
Government tells me that sexy is gross, so I am now disgusted by everything sexy.
It would be like arguing Fear 2 is sexualizing Alma because she's naked when she's a ghost lady that is trying to kill you.
Well, this is like offending, as I said, Japanese and katanas. It's like katanas are a horrible, disgusting weapon of murder and war. It's like, yeah, they're also works of art. They're amazing pieces of engineering of the era. And
the Japanese nationalism and therefore fascism.
But this is
Nazis. Katanas are Nazi stuff.
This is like looking at athleticism of the Russian people or the Chinese people and saying this is bad.
Another thing about katanas in Japanese culture is they're like an extension of the soul. Like they are very important to the people who have them.
Yep.
There are several hundred-year-old schools in China and Russia for ballet and ice skating and gymnastics. These are big cultural practices. And to say that because we have robots who look like them, because some weird law in Ukraine is just like as bad as you may as well just say, yeah, Canada sucks because they got maple syrup and moose and which they do. But I'm just saying.
You know what I find fascinating is too strong a word, but it does tickle the brain somewhat. That this woke shit that we have in the West is an extension of socialist politics that, as we know, was devised by the KGB, as Yuri Bezmenov has declassified basically after he defected, to undermine and weaken the West. That is why the Russians, who know what beast they unleashed upon the world, post-Soviet Union, will not let into their country. That's why they are so anti-rainbow. They know that is what that shit is. That's the nation undermining bullshit that they created, the huge self-running psyop basically. And now we basically see two very different versions of commies clash at each other, and it's just so weird. And both try to tell us that they're not communists.
Okay, well, 3 minutes. Here we go.
Says that it seems these YouTube shorts and edits becoming favorite among the fans, who quickly started to spread rumors about a possible 6-hour sex scene in the video game. It's
What?
It is clearly a meme. Like, come on. It's clearly a joke.
They're also
Like,
just
nobody would
rumors.
think
This
that
isn't-
there's a 6-hour cutscene. Like, come on.
Yeah, but a 6-hour
Yes,
sex scene
this
because
is
it's
dumb.
stupid. That is.
Yeah,
retarded.
this is dumb.
Come
This is
on.
obviously a meme. Like, come on.
That's just
This
stupid.
reminds me of back when Mass Effect came out and the news companies were like, there's a full nude sex scene.
And then that doctor or whomever, like a day later, says, "Oh yeah, this is nothing to talk about. There's no problem here."
It's like literally the same kind of sex scene you'd see in any movie that comes out.
It's PG-14. Yeah. Okay.
so many levels. In conclusion, what can you do to support Ukraine on this matter?
What? Why?
If you did,
Why would?
Again, he just says it's wrong. He doesn't say why it's wrong.
Why? Wait, we're talking about a video game. What can you do to support Ukraine? It's like, why are we supporting Ukraine? We're talking about not buying a video game. What are you fucking talking?
You have not yet
You have
established why
to
you are the
support
good
Ukraine.
guys just because
Ukraine,
you got
good
attacked.
guy.
This is like saying don't buy Kit Kat. How can you support the states though? It's like what? Why would I? What are you talking about? We're talking about not buying a thing, and now we're talking about supporting a country. How do we?
You
I'd
expect
also
me
like to point
support,
out-
you expect me to support your shithole corrupt country where the money mainly just goes into the corrupt pockets of corrupt assholes at the top and not to the people anyway.
Now that I'm remembering as well, back to the pre-order thing, they didn't actually have pre-order set up back when they had the very little footage of the game. The pre-orders
did he
are
lie?
actually a recent thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And on that note, by the
They
way,
only
I can tell
they
you,
only
we
had a
have-
Kickstarter. They didn't have a pre-order thing.
And I can tell you, we have Ukrainian refugees here in the area, and there are a lot of nice ones about them, mainly the women. And then there's these assholes that have just the biggest cars that you can imagine. They're not SUVs, but they're SUV size. They must eat like half the town's gas fuel reserves. And they always park in the worst spots and never in a way where anyone else still fits in next to them. This is just this is how the Ukrainian refugees, the rich assholes who could afford to flee, make everyone here hate the Ukrainians. You know why? Not just because of bad parking, but because Germans like their cars, they like their streets, and they like their parking spots. And if some asshole Ukrainian comes here and takes up 2 or even 3 parking spots because he's a fucking asshole who can't fucking drive, he's not going to make friends for his people. And here this guy is trying to shame me into supporting his country. Dude, learn some manners.
Well, I wouldn't mind it if he stuck to the game, not to politics, because this is getting. It's not only on the nose; he's just talking about something unrelated. All because.
Well, politics are his only reason to not buy the game.
Pretty much, yeah.
This is so silly.
I mean, it's the main reason why he mentioned like the Hogwarts game in the beginning, because it's all a politics.
That was done. If he did not do that, I can at least understand that he's really concerned about the war. But now he's like,
mentioned Joe Rogan.
yeah, like Joe Rogan and a Hogwarts. Like you're like, what? What does that have to do with anything? Oh God. this
Also,
guy.
keep in mind this wasn't even a political channel. This is like some random Destiny channel.
Yeah.
And then he made this video.
Anyway.
a pre-order first and to Ukrainian charities. The second part.
Why?
The second part is admirable, but not necessary.
Because you're bad for pre-ordering it.
Why do I have to give Ukraine the money though? Why can't I buy a different game? Didn't he say you should
I will
buy
give him the
Elden Ring,
benefit
and
of the
now he
doubt.
says
I will
you
give him
should,
the
like,
benefit that he is saying it's not a necessary step to donate to Ukraine.
Yeah, but didn't he like say before that you should buy Elden Ring, and now he says you should use the money for Ukraine?
Dude, we have
he
exploding
changed his
energy
point.
prices.
Also that, yeah.
Let's go.
Pre-order is fine, and let's be honest, in this day and age, you shouldn't be buying pre-orders anyway. If you
Why?
want to go a step further, you can do the following.
Never buy
You can-
pre-orders.
What?
I understand people who don't like
this
pre-orders.
is insane. Now he
but-
says you should write complaints about like using Ukraine law to like get the game like
I'm
reported.
also curious, isn't this against YouTube terms of service?
I'm pretty sure it is. Like
Oh
he's
my-
calling for the game to get like mass reported now.
Yeah, this
Like
is
listen to this argument he's making.
violation of the law of Ukraine on condemnation of the communist and socialist Nazi regimes and prohibitions of propaganda and their symbol. For example, the red star on the game logo praising the Soviet in the game. What?
Doesn't look like the game is praising the Soviets when it
Literally
turns into
not,
a
yeah.
complete dystopia. I'd be very careful about that.
What
Because
is-
that's the thing. Even the German censorship on Nazi depictions has been eased because
It has
if
been
it-
lifted, right?
What?
Has it been lifted?
No.
Legally, yeah,
Not
it has.
No. It still requires proper context. In the context of education. Yeah, so outright praise is not is still outlawed. In context of education and showing them as the bad guys, it's fine.
Okay, so now he's advocating for people to go sign some petition or sign some form. Good for him.
Go to page, click on the complaint log.
No, what he's doing, Smut, is he's telling people to go to like Steam and report it.
Flagging campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contains material of your country and write a similar text or something on that matter. In case you didn't know, Ukraine has implemented a law that restricts and bans all Soviet and USSR propaganda, symbols, and memorabilia.
Yeah, but that would then count
We
only for
had quite enough
Ukrainians.
of that. If you simply want to stand aside and be an innocent bystander, there is a way as well.
Also, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure you can't actually do this. Like, isn't this like against the terms of service to like report something with like another country's law?
That's
Like,
what
I'm
I
pretty
meant.
sure you can't do that.
Only Ukrainians could even do this.
Yeah, like
properly.
if you would like do this copy pasta that he had here, I'm pretty sure that's not allowed.
Yeah, but now he's telling us to
doesn't even make
become.
sense.
And if you want to be an innocent bystander, this is what you do. It's like no. If you want to be an innocent bystander, you be an innocent bystander. You don't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do the bystanders have to do? And let's hear.
On February 21st, simply play a different game. It's that easy. Don't wishlist Atomic Heart, don't buy it, and go play something like Disco Elysium instead. You should
Oh, the
wishlist
pro-communist
Stalker
thing,
2, though.
right?
Some users could make a
Fuck
claim
off.
that they could simply pirate it and pay no money to the Russian devs and still enjoy the game. To that I can't say anything. At that point it depends only on your moral compass. If you feel comfortable playing the game after watching this video till the end, I've done all in my power and I can't control your wallet, so I can't stop you from pirating this game. It's just up to your morals and ideals at this point. In the description I'll be sending the links to all of the articles used for this video. Whether to check it is up to you.
So wait a second. My morals are this, but if you want to pirate the game, that's up to you. What?
Also,
So,
notice how when he mentioned like the moral thing, the thing that he mentioned was it's up to you if you want to pirate the game. Like he didn't even mention the option of you still want to buy the game. Like that's not even an option. You can only pirate it if
Yeah,
you
but
want
he's
to play
been
it.
parroting all these I don't know, anti-Russian ideals, and this is bad, and this is bad. You should do this. But if you want to pirate it, yeah, it's up to you.
I don't like the hypocrisy here about this game is pro-communist, so you shouldn't play it. Play instead Disco Elysium, which has a
Play the other comic game.
oh, God.
It's so weird.
But it's communism he likes.
Helping a lot was the research part for this video, including tweets and articles.
Why Russian game called Atomic Heart has to be banned everywhere? Who's this guy?
Dirty Wall UA. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Has to be banned in every country. What the hell?
That's just going to make it more popular if that happens.
It's literally gonna be like Hogwarts Legacy 2 at this point. It's gonna happen again.
By Atomic Heart, misleading marketing, our glorification, and direct financial gain to Russia.
Okay, I know what he said for the misleading marketing part, but it wasn't actually that misleading. The marketing was that it would be a first-person shooter inspired by BioShock that would have some RPG elements, and that's what we're getting.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you said he lied about the pre-order thing makes it makes it completely irrelevant that he brought this up.
Yeah.
I also brought this up in chat earlier, but he lied about the Gaijin studio moving as well.
I wonder.
They moved back in 2015, not 2022.
Yeah, I wonder if this was like instead of a Russian setting, it was a Ukrainian setting, but it was still made by the same company. Would he still have a problem? Because it's still Russians making the game, or international Russians, whatever you want to call that studio. This guy is just, I don't know, man. Weird fight he's starting. Here is GAW004. Thank you, sir. Why bring up Elysium and not a recent game to buy? I don't know. What does that have to do with anything?
I'm gonna shill it. Buy
It's a
Hi-Fi
good
Rush.
communist game.
Good game.
I like the game too, but what does that have to do with anything? Just say, go play anything else except for this game. It's like, all right.
Like, it's the only difference that it's also like the Russian game, but because it's not made by the Russian devs, you can buy that one. Like, is that the reason?
I don't know. Yeah. What a weird thing to say. All right. Anyway.
Gain. I know that this is not a usual video I would make, but I had to spread awareness regarding this delicate matter. I know that this video might attract some enlightened centrist contrarians who will buy the game either way, and those I shall rightfully ignore. Have a good day.
The contrarian is you.
Enlightened centrists.
Enlightened centrist contrarians.
What is?
Again, this guy has a really big problem with insulting people. He's trying to argue.
Yeah.
Just say people who disagree with me.
This guy.
Don't.
Such and that would feel offended by this.
Oh God, there's got to be some crazy memes. I don't know if you guys have any, but let's check them out. Holy hell! What did we just watch? Okay, let's see what we have here.
Oh, did you guys hear about Jensen Ackles?
What do you do?
He starred in a commercial for Atomic Heart, so there's some people trying to cancel him.
Jensen. Oh, jeez. Anyway, here's the baby from Metroid. Man.
That was from last time.
Basically every video essay. Okay, I'll check that out later. House of Registered Sex Offenders. Okay. All right. The boy who wished you would. What? Master gave Dobby a Glock. Harry Potter. This what? Is that a Muggle?
That's Dobby with a gun.
Okay. Juggling show. What does it mean? Don't buy this game when a Russian studio makes a game set in Russia about alternative history Russia. Yeah, whoa, what a concept.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see that coming. Here we go. No personality, no charisma, no good looks, no skills, doesn't improve, doesn't grow as a person, revolves around being the chosen one, is constantly jobbed and bossed around, and he happily obliges. Harry is the lamest protag ever conceived. He doesn't grow? Really?
I'd argue he does.
It's
I just sort of I only saw some of the movies. First one's something in the middle, and the last one.
Oh my god, this
He
next one.
There wasn't. He didn't really seem different.
All right, here is.
He starts out pretty naive. By the end, he's pretty distrusting.
Well,
It's kind of
it is a coming
What
of
a
age story.
grove.
So, yeah. No. Anyway, I was rereading Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and came across the "What did J.R.R. Rowling mean by this?" Any thoughts? Harry Potter, what have you been doing in the gas chamber of secrets? Why is there an Amazon delivery of 14 large ovens? And where TF have all the bank goblins gone? Dumbledore whispered inaudibly, shaking the very foundations of the earth. It wasn't me, boss teacher, I promise, Harry said, rather retardedly. Very well, I shall blame Slytherin then? 6 million points to Gryffindor? Oh, Gryffindor, okay. Okay. The first robot waifu, we've come a long way. Yes. Awesome, look.
For anyone who doesn't know, this is from Metropolis.
The
Movie by Fritz
1930?
Lang, I think.
1920.
1924, I think.
Yeah.
24 or 26.
Wow. Awesome stuff.
I always forget whether it was before or after 25.
Oh, alrighty. That was wow. What a great video. That was amazing.
Sorry for being tired.
I thought it was going to be like, well, maybe you shouldn't play it because of X, Y, and Z. Like, okay, fine. This is like,
No,
let's talk about the law. Like, why? What the hell are you
I
talking
expected exactly this, but not this extreme.
I think he needs a
Still,
friend.
I think the funniest part is that this was like just some random Destiny YouTuber that decided to make this video.
I'm pretty
So
glad
the
that, as
funniest
far
part
as I can see, this video is actually getting a lot of pushback,
It's got
even
over,
though his
Yeah,
comment section
actually.
doesn't look like it.
it's got over 1.7 million views. That's crazy.
How many positives does it have?
50,000 and 158,000 downvotes.
Okay.
That's insane.
This is so silly. I've never heard of this guy, and he makes the most ridiculous video because Russia bad. And this
Yeah, like if you check the rest of his channel, it's just some random Destiny videos. It's not. It's not weird.
He is also deleting comments that criticize him,
Yeah.
and I've noticed a lot of the comments kind of look like they're from bots.
Okay.
Yes, like all the other videos on his channel are nothing like this. It's like, oh, this warlock build is truly volatile. Destiny 2, are you smarter than a blueberry? Destiny 2. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Why did he make this video?
Yeah, the latest. Let me just check the sort by date.
Boring.
Newest first. Here we go. 10 days ago were the earliest. Or the latest, rather. He must have just turned the. Well, he must have stopped putting them on. Unless my sorting is broken. But what a weird holy crap, that is bonkers. Now I want to play the games. I'm like, oh my god, this guy is so triggered by Russian video game devs that said nothing political.
I want to play the game because it looks good. It looks like a good game.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I was impressed. The trailer was good, several years ago, but the gameplay does look very BioShock-like, and the guns and the weapons look very, very alien and weird. So very cool. I'm happy games like this exist or can actually.
I mean,
be
the
made.
melee combat looks pretty good too. A lot of first-person melee combat looks kind of bad.
I thought the combat in general looked really interesting. It also looks rather hard. Because like you have to use like the melee, all the abilities, the weapons. This could be really fun.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that was. I actually liked that video, as crazy as it was, and threw me for a loop there. Actually, a few loops because I didn't know what to expect. So, but thanks for listening. Have yourself a great evening. I will talk to you real soon. And oh boy, it's in Canada. It's a long weekend, so have yourself a good weekend. Take it easy. Bye.
Do свидания, товарищ.